Hi, this is Brian from the Comment Podcast. I'm with.
Olvera, one of the lead designers on Dishonored.
So we saw the trailer for Dishonored just about half an hour ago at the Quakecon presentation hall, and I just love the song you guys chose for the trailer.
Is this the
Drunken
Whaler song? Okay, yeah.
It's a really good trailer.
It gets stuck in your head, right?
Yeah, it does, especially the humming in at the end. For Dishonored, just a quick rundown for some of the people who haven't heard about it. What exactly is Dishonored?
Sure. So, Dishonored is a first-person action game in where you play a supernatural assassin named Corvo Attano. At the very beginning of the game, Corvo is the royal bodyguard of the Empress. And she gets killed right at the beginning. Oh. And you're framed, you're set up for, you're accused of her murder. And so the rest of the game, basically you go on missions to find out who betrayed you, who set you up, and then take these guys down. And along the way, you get some supernatural powers, you get these really cool gadgets to use. You get visited by this guy called the Outsider, who's a sort of mysterious, godlike figure, but you're not sure if he's good or bad, but he gives you these powers. And everything takes place in the city of Dunwall, which is this universe that we have invented from the ground up. It's this really cool blend of like Victorian England sort of setting, but with our own take on steampunk.
I noticed that. I saw some of the designs for the cinematic, especially what looked like a couple Tesla coils when a guy runs through, he gets evaporated.
Yeah, so that technology, that sort of alt technology layer that exists all around the city is something that has been created by the Lord Regent. So he's the guy who, after the Empress was murdered, he used to be her spy master, and he's taken over. And so he's sort of he's the main villain, and his sort of oppressive regime is, you can feel the effects of it all throughout the city. And the thing that you're talking about is called the Wall of Light, and it's this thing that anybody that's not authorized to cross through the Wall of Light is turned to ash.
Oh wow, that's pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the play style. I noticed that in some of the trailers I saw a swarm of rats attacking the guards. That seems like obviously that's one of the abilities Corvo can do.
Yeah, it's one of the powers. So I said you get a couple of you get a whole suite of supernatural powers. You pick which ones you want to take and which ones you want to upgrade. And one of them is called Devour the Swarm, and it lets Corvo summon a pack of really savage rats, and they'll attack your enemies. But the rats also are just part of the city. Also, they're just a natural game system. So if you leave a bunch of corpses in the street, then rats will spawn and
start eating.
Start eating the corpses. And also we have this thing in the game called the chaos system, where we track how brutally the player is playing, right? Okay. So if you decide to play the game in a very aggressive, brutal fashion, you kill lots of people, kill innocents, then you are signing up for a very dark endgame. And you're going to make the city a darker place. So there's going to be more rats in the streets, there's going to be more infected people because the city's going through a plague.
I noticed that in the trailer.
Yeah, and some of the characters are going to have darker reactions to you, and the endgame is going to be very dark. Alternatively, you can play in a very surgical way. You can even go so far as to be completely non-lethal. So this is the only a game about an assassin where you can play without killing anyone. Now that path is, takes a little more investigation, a little more. It's harder.
Yeah.
But then you won't get the super dark end game. Things will turn out a little bit better.
Yeah. So I noticed that with Dishonored, it has a very unique artistic style, especially for the character models.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to go with a more stylized way of rendering the characters and the environments?
For Dishonored, we made a very deliberate choice to go away from photorealism, so that the character would have so that the game would have its own distinct character.
A little bit of flavor.
Yeah, its own signature visual style, and that is the result of the super hard work of Victor Antonov and Sebastian Bitton. And and they're super talented art guys. They've done a lot to make the world of Dishonored look the way that it does, and I think it's pretty distinctive, and I'm super proud of it. And they did a lot of research, like they went on a lot of Mr. Jealous because they got to go on lots of fun trips everywhere to take lots of photo reference. They did a lot of research, architectural research, and we started looking at things like London. That was our original inspiration for the game, and then we just started to layer on different things, like the idea that, hey, this is a coastal city, so like the whaling industry is like a big part of things. And it kind of also plugs into the fiction of like what's powering this alt technology that's also now layered on top of the city's architecture. So all that stuff kind of blends together to make the unique look of Dishonored.
Yeah, when I saw the trailer, especially the enemies, they have really unique looks, especially these brass or gold frowning masks. And of course the archers that are almost colossal hydraulic walkers.
The tall boys.
Tall boys. That's good.
Those guys are fun because that's a good example of something that started grounded in reality, but then as we developed on it, as we began to add more layers, it turned into what we have now. There's this this thing that we found. There were these guys called lamplighters in London and probably in other cities a long time ago. There were these guys who would walk around on these like huge, rickety wooden stilts. You can find old black and white images of them. But they walk around on these really tall wooden stilts that look super, super dangerous. And they would go around and they would light the lamps in the city, the really tall lamps, and turn on the lamps. And that was our starting point. And then eventually it evolved into this slightly more mechanized, whale oil-powered military guy. And so the idea in Dishonored now is that this guy's, he's like 12 feet above everybody else, and he's up on stilts, not only to give him a commanding view, but also because it keeps him away from the infected people and the rats who crush him with his
little talon-like feet.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I thank you for sharing your time with us, Ricardo, and we will hopefully see Dishonored October 9th of this year.
That's right, October 9th on all platforms.
Just a quick little question, any news on possible DLC or special editions? No,
Dishonored is a really big universe, and I know the team would love the chance to do more stuff, but right now everybody is super focused on finishing the game. Yeah, we've got to get it done, and we can't wait for everybody to play it, so that's what we're focused on now.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
See you guys later at the con.